Hey guys, this is la.rc.doc from Angry Records again. Evidently this was unexpected part 2. I wasn't watching the clock very well. Back to our differential. Pretty well left everything like it was. As I was explaining to you, there's a ring that wears on these differentials with a ring and pinion. And what happens is when you stress that with the torque of the motor, they actually get a beveled, sharp edge to the teeth. And already having a groove wore into them, what they'll do is they'll separate, they'll pop, they won't grab, they'll kind of just want to grab the teeth, but as they do, it slips off over to the next one and causing a popping noise. So we caught this one in good timing. It's not that bad. Now, since I did see you, I did pull the pinion out. The pinion is pretty bad shape. I mean, it's pretty sharp, pretty wore down. Now these pinions go in the very front of the case, and they spin on a bearing. There's a bearing in the front, bearing in the inside, so there's actually two bearings. There is a pinion shaft that runs through there, and actually what I'm going to do, since I've got a new ring and pinion here that we're going to be putting in, on the casing here, I've got these are called shims. It's like a little teeny washer, and they're called shims, and I'm going to place this on the back of the pinion gear, and what that does is that allows the pinion to set just a little bit deeper into the teeth of the ring, causing it to grab a better bite. You know, it'll grab more teeth. So that's what we actually want. Now, when you take your pinion out, there is a C clip. Now this is a metal one that goes on top. A lot of times you can't see them, but on the tip of my finger right there, you can probably see this little itty bitty clip. But anyway, it goes on top of the differential, the pinion gear, and putting them back together can take some patience and skill, because these things are so small, and if you don't center them right and get them a good pop in there, you might find your clip soaring across your shop floor. Now, this one, usually, you know, there's a good way of getting them out, and that's with I use a lot of times is a 12 volt light tester, and because they got a sharp point at the edge, and you can pretty well push these in there, force them in there. There we go, just like that. See, and then your pinion gear. Sorry, had a brain fart there for a minute. Your pinion gear is all good. Now, for your spiders in your ring, we are going to, they got 4 fine screws that hold this on here. So the screws are pretty itty bitty. Like I said, I don't know, I mean, I guess the companies think that these little motors don't put out enough torque to snap things. Well, got news for you. I've poured it and polished a few that I've got a big red that I poured it and polished, and it was 3.4 horse to begin with, and I put it inside of a GSR 50, and I couldn't hardly keep the truck halfway decently in control. So it didn't break anything. Them sins are pretty tough, but okay. Inside there you can see there's a little bitty, there was a picture. I don't know what's going on with my screen right now. I'm having technical difficulties. Ain't this a bitch? Hang on, guys. It's telling me there was no picture found on C documents, settings, administration, my documents, there we go. Welcome back. Alright, well anyway, here is the inside, as you can tell. Now there are 4 spiders. There's 3 in here. The other spider is sitting right here on top of the old ring, as you can see right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the spiders down, and I'm going to take this bearing off of the old one. As you can see, there's a bearing that goes right here on the side for the casing, and I'm going to pull this spider gear off. Grease has got it kind of wanting to stick to it. There we go. And there is a another shim, and as a matter of fact there's 2 of them. Now being that all these ring and pinions, you can see these double shims that came off the back of this spider gear. Now you got to kind of experiment with these shims. You know, these rings that you get aftermarket are not usually the same exact thickness in thousandths. And if you don't understand that, you can ask a machinist and they can explain it to you better. So we're going to try to go back to the factory way here and see if we can't get it back together and have it spinning nice and smoothly and having no problems. Hopefully we got one that's, you know, pretty well the same thickness and thousandths. Now this right here is a CVC joint and grease for differential CVCs and stuff like that. So I always like to fill my spiders up with grease. That way I don't have, they run a lot smoother, you don't have a lot of problems with them. So then we'll put this one spider back on here. I guess his hair doesn't need to go in there. And now this does have lining pins. So I'm going to try to get this settled in there like that, which came pretty good. And get your screws set back in there and make sure everything's lined up the way you had it. And then once we tighten these down, we'll spin. We'll set the spiders and ring inside the casing alongside back into the casing where it belongs against the pinion gear, and we'll see if we get a good smooth run. If it's too tight or if it feels like it's bound, then we're going to have to take it back out, and we're going to probably have to replace one of them shims. Because see, now I added a shim on the back of the pinion gear, so that might work, and it might put things too tight, so which would loosen up. But see, we're running plastic cases here, so they don't wear in. The metal doesn't wear in, the plastic wears out. So we don't want to do it that way, so we'll have to take some out. So So let's pop it in here and see what we got here. Oh, look at that, perfect. As you can see, that thing just as smooth, just as nice. And we'll even know more, and you can, I don't know if you can see the shaft spinning, but yeah, that's perfect. So hopefully, you know, we can, that'll work. We can get things going here. So give me a shot of grease inside the casing for the ring and the pinion. And the screen keeps popping off. Don't take a whole bunch, just a little bit, you know, but me, my little bit's a little bit more than others. Just about like that, you know, roll that around in there so it can get on the ring. See how it'll coat the gear. So that's what we're looking to do. So now we'll get the case back on it. Oh shit. Fit in there nice and easy. Had no problems with that, which was good. So this is what we like. This is what we like to hear. It's what we like to see. Alright, so
at the claim, Todd was working on the excavator when the fight broke out. I saw Drake standing with his hands in his pocket.
make sure we're still spinning good and smooth here, which we are. Also, now remember, when you put your case back together, on the end of these, the rear end case, there is a little thick plastic washer, and that goes in the end of these differential casings, and what that's for is the axle to travel on. So make sure that's in there, or you'll get a lot of slop and play in them axles, and possibly even get them working coming out. So you don't want that.
Back at the claim, Todd uses the satellite phone to call Dorsey. Hello? Yeah, you
alright? Alright, now look at that. Real nice, smooth differential. See that? Real nice. I'm holding on to the pinion up front, so that's a real nice running differential. So basically all we got to do now is slap her back together, get our axles. You want to inspect your axles and see how much wear and tear that they have on them. You know, that's important. This one over here seems to have a little bit more wear than this one. So you can, I don't know if you can see that or not, but probably can't. This camera's a piece of shit. I'm gonna have to go and invest me into a better one. Okay, now this got a flat spot that it goes into. There we go. Alrighty, so then you slip your axles in there. You ain't got a left or a right really. You can, if you want, you can, you know, keep it that way, but I've never had any